title is a sort of a joke, an inside joke. It's called Gemini in Retrospect. And I'm a Gemini. I don't believe in any of the astrology stuff, but I would always read it, and it would always say, your Gemini is in, your Mercury is in retrograde, and I just thought that was funny. And this is a sort of a best of record. It's all the songs I like to play live. It's all my favorite songs, and it's also the songs that I have liked so much I've always wanted to recut them. The rule is once you record a song, it's static and it stays there. Well, it's not static to me, and it isn't. I don't think it's static to any songwriter. I think it's just this rule that we adhere to, where now you have to sing and perform this song the way it is forever. Well, jazz musicians don't feel that way. And I never saw John Lennon sing it the same way after a while, or Michael Stipe. He was famous for that. So I figured I'd do it too, and I'd sort of rewrite the songs that I've written, the songs that I love. And that's what that's based off. Also, I'm kind of tired of lugging around 12 albums to my gigs.
Maybe we should let it go, just like now, 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 just let it go, just like now.
Well, I think a lot of us have some time on our hands, and it came out of that. I was set to record a record with me just singing, playing guitar and some horns in a band situation, but I started playing around with some of my songs, and then this isolated period happened, and I figured I would just do what it is that I usually do on my records, and lean into it harder. I think I choose these songs as them being ones that still live inside me. Some of them are very personal, and some of them just have sort of a life inside of me. I find myself adding verses or rewriting or rearranging, and I sing them differently now, and I perform them differently. And it was interesting to see how they were first cut and how I have a relationship with these songs years later. So in a way, they're picked in a sense of how much life they still have. Yeah, this record spans about 20 years, from 2000 to 2020. 20 years. And that's why it's called 20, Gemini in Retrospect.
I fall back on the fact what nights we have will be good. To see you in my dreams, memory of time we spent will help make a dent to the loneliness I feel.
Yes. There was a time I was married once before, and I was separating from my wife, and I started writing this song, See You in the Dream, when I started feeling like I could go back to her. And that was very brief. But what it really is it's about when you're traveling and you have this internal life inside of you, and you know that another person understands, and you want to share that, and there's just no way that's going to happen. So that's how that started off, the life of that song. Many years later, I remarried, and we got some kids, and I was still going out on the road, and what I would do is I would talk to my kids over the phone or through FaceTime, and I'd say, I'll see you in the dream. And sometimes I'd say, what are we gonna dream? Not what are you gonna dream, but what are we gonna dream? And that there's always The dream is anyone's. You can do anything you want to. It could be a big science fiction fantasy, and I would make pictures for them and send them online. And eventually I made a book of all of our adventures, and that's what that song means now. And the lyrics have changed to reflect that, and the kids are even on it. There's this song I've been playing called I Love Everyone, and it's such an infectious song, and it's such a simple song, and I play it for much too long, and it's sort of borders on ridiculous, but I like doing it. It shows that if you open up your heart, everyone can be let inside. And everyone can respond, and it's going to be at the end of the record, and I love that song. I can't wait for you to hear it. Yeah, there's two that I released in 2000 on the record Strange and Beautiful. One I co-wrote with my writing partner at the time, Bob Mayer, and it's about releasing things that don't serve you anymore. It's called Let It Go. And there's another one called Good Intentions, where I was thinking about Dolly. You remember Dolly, that genetic clone, and sheep, that genetic clone sheep. And I remember thinking, wow, we're going to certainly have an interesting world ahead of us, and I wonder how many of these people come up with these things with the best of intentions. Yeah, there is one that changed. The song is called Thread, and there'll be a video for it. It was just a simple piece off of the album called Thread, with no drums and just a lot of horns. But it seems like we're sharing so much of the same feelings now, due to 3.5 billion people being affected by this, pretty much half the world. That's the pandemic. That I thought I would redo it and just make it sound bigger, because it's such a bigger feeling that I have. We all have this common thread that we share. We all feel alone. We feel like it can be too much. We feel like we're way too small. And if we find the courage inside us to just simply see that we all share the same feeling, automatically it becomes a much bigger unified feeling. The album is going to be released very soon, May 23rd, which by the time anybody sees this, it'll already be here. And I always release albums on my birthday. It's sort of a birthday gift to myself. I love to make records. I love to record. And they've always sort of been a gift to myself, sort of a birthing. And what better way to give birth to a record on your birthday? In any which way that you would choose to. However, I'm not playing live anymore, so the CDs are not going to be available at this point. But this is my means of making a living, and I would love the listener to pay anything that they feel like they want to pay. just go to my website and go to iTunes, go to Bandcamp, but you can go right to my website and see every link and any way that you would like to be involved in this.
Hold on to yourself, any road will lead you home.